Okay, so welcome to, we're going to just say Empowered Elite and Aspire Nation team call for June 19th. Super excited. Just want to cover a couple quick things. It is obviously we have 11 days left in the month, and make sure that you are on top of your follow-ups because we still have our PAX $20 off promo. That's an incredible sale for people that are ready to dive in. Just want to make a note. I don't want to consume too much time before we get started, but note that we'll be starting to share things about Morning Meltdown in the team page, so stay tuned for that. We have an incredible new launch up and coming, so we need to be prepared for that. And then also, I don't know if you want to touch on this, Annalisa, but our new coach training, thank you to everyone who partook in helping us create that. An awesome job to those of you that are in there and participating and doing all of the check-ins. Annalisa, do you want to mention what you said about it?
Yeah, so I'm just trying to navigate right now. I guess you can make it something called like an evergreen project, which basically means people can start whenever and it just like stays present. It's just always there. So I don't know if we want to do that or if we want to always have start dates for that group. There's obviously advantages to both. One being like whenever you get a new coach, you can just send them the Vimify link and they get started in that. And the other being when they start as like a group, they kind of know who's kind of running alongside of them. So the community feel might be a little better. So kind of figuring that out on Vimify. And Jess, I don't know if you played around with that because we learned Vimify from you. So are you doing the evergreen, is it rolling or are you doing different start dates and just keeping the same material?
So Liz and I started the coach training together. I had been using Vimify for longer with my challenge groups, and she wanted to do start dates. I think that I might switch to to do evergreen. The thing that I like about the evergreen part with Vimify specifically is I think when we have self-paced trainings for coaches, where we lose them is there's no like reminder to like, do this today or, that's where we kind of lose people and so they're not accountable.
Yeah.
But at least with this, when we set up our like daily emails to go out, they're always going to get those. No matter what day is their day one, they're always going to get day one email, day two email, and that kind of stuff.
Like those automatic posts,
Yeah.
You mean that go up in the feed so it will just go to their email, not the feed?
No, it will. It will go to both. They'll see both, but
Okay.
they'll continue to get like the daily reminders. So for them, it won't feel evergreen. It will just feel like starting today. And
Okay.
I also asked the people who run Vimify if they'll see everyone else's posts from them going through it before them to keep the community feel, and they said that they will, because I don't want them to not see anyone else's answers, because that's part of the cool part of going through it.
Yeah.
So that's my plan, is at least trying. I mean, so much of coaching is trial and error.
Right. That's what I kind of figured with this one. Like, see how it goes. People seem to be engaging in it. And we just need to be going in there and like seeing what people are posting and their answers and all of that stuff. So as coaches, if you guys are in it, just be sure, like we all have our collective email that we're using as like the coach leader for that group, but access the group through your personal Vimify accounts, if that makes sense. So like go in as Alicia, go in as Kelly, not as coach leader, because now it's all set up. So you shouldn't have to access it that way anymore. You can just access on your personal accounts for now until we go in and edit something. But anyway, so we're kind of navigating that, but just check in there. If you have coaches in there, just go in and check in and see how they're doing and see where they're at in the training. And you guys know when trainings kick off, people go all in for 3 days, 4 days, and then they're ghosts. So just be the person to encourage them to keep going. And the more we run this, the more that hopefully the easier and more successful it will be with recruiting coaches and having a place to host them as soon as they get in. Which will be great, and which is the goal of this business. So this is hopefully this first one is just kind of trial and error with information, and we'll see where people are lacking information and what else needs to be included in the training. So trial and error, but that done is better than perfect, right? All right.
Absolutely. All right, I'm going to do a quick intro of Jess and then let her take the reins. So excited to have her on tonight. So I'm going to run down. You have a long history here. So Jess has a background in nursing, and she's also a certified holistic health coach. A lot of you noted when I mentioned it in the team page, you were like, she's the one that made that amazing Shakeology video. She has been a coach for 3 years. She brought in 6 figures at her 3-year mark. Do you mean cumulatively? Yes? Okay. She is currently 5-star in her first business center, 1-star in her husband's account, and close to 2-star in her second business center, which is just absolutely incredible. 2019 premier team, and her first year coaching, she worked 40 to 60 hours as an RN in a prison with a baby at home, and now she has retired and is home full-time with a 3-year-old and a 1-year-old. So she is a super busy mama, super, I don't know, you have told me you're not organized, but I feel like you have to be organized to do what you're doing. And Jess also just has an incredible story. She and I have become pretty good friends since leadership of last year. We got a few minutes to chat in the lobby at leadership, and we just have a lot of commonalities in our stories, I guess, and she is very much so an overcomer with the things that she's gone through in her personal life. And I just love how she brings that passion and that energy into her business to really let her, we talked about her adversity being her advantage, and just really leading her business and her team with intention. So I'm super excited to have her share tonight. Thanks, Jess.
Yay! Awesome. Thanks so much for having me, you guys. To preface this call, I love interactive calls. I don't like to just speak at you. I would love to chat with you. So whatever's more comfortable, chatting in the chat box, or you can unmute yourself if you wanted to say something or ask me a question. But really, I want to be here to help you guys in the best way that I can serve you. So in the chat box, this is my first question to you guys. I'd love to know kind of why you're coach, why are you a Beachbody coach? Why did you decide to do that? And I know for a lot of us that changes, if I think back to why I started and why I'm doing it now, it's evolved so much. And I'm sure that has for you too, because everybody's in a different place in their business. But I just love to know kind of where you guys are at and why you're doing this. And we can kind of go from there. So I will just kind of give you a really brief journey of my coaching journey and how it's changed and the different obstacles for me. When I first started, like Dana said, I was working 40 to 60 hours a week in prison. My coach is Liz Hartke, and I didn't have any intention of coaching when I first started. And I think it's so funny how many top coaches and really successful coaches say that. I had no intention of coaching when I first started. I just wanted, or I bought Shakeology off of eBay, or I bought 21 Day Fix off of Amazon, but someone let me in their challenge group. And that's been really, really helpful for me to never discount someone, because if I think about it, my life has changed completely because I started because I wanted to lose baby weight. And all Liz told me was, I totally get it. I told her I don't have time to do this. And she said, no problem. But if you have anyone who wants to join, here's how you get them signed up. Oh, okay. It wasn't well, but you be really good at this, and here's a new coach training if you want to do it. And sometimes I feel like we overcomplicate things. I do. And I have. I'm so guilty of that. Or we write off our discount coaches. And I signed up to be a discount coach. I knew how it worked. This is my 3rd time signing up as a Beachbody coach in my lifetime. I never tried before to coach. I didn't even know it was really a thing. Honestly, I'll be very transparent with you. I always thought I was better than Beachbody. I always thought that I was way smarter. I'm I am a nurse. I have my bachelor's degree, and I know so much about nutrition and superfoods and herbs. And that was my jam. That always has been my passion. And I've been very humbled at our company's integrity and quality of stuff. But that is kind of where I started. And I'm going to kind of go through it and read a little bit about why you guys started. But I wanted to start there because I think that in coaching, it's so important to be clear on why we're doing this. And because things get hard, you know, all along. Things are hard as a brand new coach. Liz told me your first year is going to be really hard. You're not going to get paid the same. What did she say? It's not going to be equal what you reap compared to what you invest in your business. And it's so true for the majority of people. And she said, once you hit that 1 year mark, it's going to start to compound and you're going to start seeing more residual income. And the 2 year mark, you're going to be like, wow, this is crazy. And the 3 year mark, your mind's going to be blown. And it's been very true, like how that happens. But there's unique challenges along the way. And if we don't come in with a very clear reason as to why we're doing this, then it's going to be hard to weather the storm through those. So, okay. So let me read through these really quick. So accountability for my journey, role model for my family, help financially, reduce my nursing hours, totally get that. Extra spending cash, freedom of schedule, absolutely, especially the family. I swear, like those of you who are moms, like kids change everything. I never wanted to be a stay-at-home mom or work from home mom, ever. Like I'm so driven. I've like always been over involved in everything. And yeah, and then I had a baby. I'm like, I need to stay home for the rest of my life. Okay, financial flexibility, absolutely. Life-changing business. I love it. And personal growth. Okay, I love all of these so much. Okay, so when you think about that, now I would love to hear from you guys. Like, what are some of your biggest, like, be honest with yourself. What are some of the biggest reasons that you are not maybe excelling, or you're not where you want to be, or some of your biggest fears, or some of your biggest hardships specific to this business? And I think that if you think specifically about fears and your struggles, sometimes they're the same, but sometimes they're different in different stages of this business. So, you know, someone can be fearful of doing. My phone was called into this Zoom call. I don't know how that happened. Siri is weird. Okay, so like you can have fear of doing a live video, or fear of what people may think, or fear of something, but I really struggle in recruiting business builders, or I struggle in talking about the business, or I struggle in, you know, or they can overlap. So I'd love to know from you guys, like what your struggles are or your fears are. Not speaking enough about the business opportunity. Awesome. For some of you, it could be like, I don't know how to manage my time because I work full time, or I have kids, or I have both, or I have so much time on my hands and I feel like I'm busy, but I'm not productive. I'm not seeing results in my business. Tangible things will help me like speak specifically to where you guys are at. Trying to find a balance with work and business behaviors. Absolutely. Finding those go-getters. Okay. Along with this, if you guys have like, if you have some big objections that you struggle with or that you hear all the time, I'd love to hear those too. Because what I'd love to do at the end of this call, my goal is for you to have a completely different perspective about the biggest things that are holding you back. Because 90% of this business and this job and our impact and our income is related to our mindset and our perspective. And it's so easy to go do a workout, and it's so hard sometimes to believe in yourself and wrap your mind around the fact that even though you are a single mom that's working full time, that you can still do this and be very successful at. That's a really hard thing to do, right? You can do 25 burpees because it's like tangible, but like that perspective of not falling into, I just don't have the time, or I just don't have the money to pay for Shakeology every month, or I just don't have XYZ. Everyone's a little bit different, but we hear money a lot, absolutely, and time are kind of like the biggest things, right? Like for most of us, not only for ourselves, but that we hear. I need balance. Oh my gosh, absolutely. Especially as you reach like bigger levels in this business, balance is really hard. I guess in the beginning too. Full time and a 3 and a 5-year-old, totally. Okay. So these, I promise you, these are connected. So for me, like going back to the beginning, I had a baby at home and I was working full time in prison. So I'm like, there's no multitasking, can't have my phone, there's no internet access. My schedule is a little bit crazy. I could get held on a whim for a 16-hour shift. But I've hit Success Club every single month since I started, and I'm not saying that to brag. It's just like that's a fact of my business. And for the 3 years and however many months that I've been a coach, I've always hit Success Club. Only 2 of those months were Success Club 5, the rest were SU10. And I look back to like genuinely ask myself why, and there was clarity of like my purpose. It's evolved. In the beginning, I didn't believe that I could do this, like do this and be making $6,000 a month. I didn't think that was real at all. So that wasn't my total motivator. I'm like, but I just had a baby. I'd love to get out of prison. Liz asked me in the beginning, if you could be anywhere 1 year from now, what would your dream life look like? And I'm like, really? She's like, and dream big. And then she told me the same question, but 5 years from now. She said, dream super big. And I'm like, oh my gosh, this is impossible, but maybe within 5 years, I could be making like close to my RN salary within 5 years as the coach, and I could be home with my kids, because my husband's not here, but my check doubled my husband's. He had a way he still does, has a way more stressful job in law enforcement, but my paycheck doubled his. So me just quitting, it wasn't reality. And I know a lot of people are in that same position. So that was kind of my clarity, my necessity. For those of you who read High Performance Habits by Brendon Burchard, I had a very high necessity and I was excited. My enthusiasm and my passion like oozed out of me. I did not know like anything about the business, but I was so excited about getting abs like Elizabeth Hartkey that I told everybody, and I sent everybody her picture from the beginning. And I'm like, I know how to sign someone up. Let's get in shape together. Like that was it. And that kind of like excitement and simplicity and enthusiasm is, I've learned different ways around it, but I've kept that. And every time I try to complicate it, I lose it, and I struggle. And I think that's what everybody does in this business, is we complicate everything and we lose the excitement and we forget to stay committed to our own journey. And that's where like the meat and potatoes of this business is like living your own journey, right? So anyways, that was kind of like a side note, but clarity and necessity are so important no matter where you're at. And from early on, I didn't recognize I was doing it, but so many moms, and I'm not judging anyone because I've been there too, but will use their kids as their excuse as to why they don't take care of themselves. Their excuse as to why they don't do something that could be really good for themselves and for their family. And when you look at it objectively and don't put yourself in the situation, it's 100% your perspective. For me, like my kids are my fuel. If I don't take care of myself, they get a worse version of me. If I am not confident in my own skin, my husband doesn't get the best version of me. My boys will grow up seeing me beat myself up in the mirror. I don't want that. They deserve so much better than that. And so you can see there's 100% of perspective. It's not objective. It's not a truth that our kids keep us from living our best life or whatever. I mean, it's all a perspective. And so for you, wherever you're at with, your time, we'll use that because it's a big struggle and it's a reality, right? Working full time or not, or kids or not, time is a struggle. And I've seen a lot of coaches, I will tell you my own perspective, when I became a full-time coach, I struggled. I'm like, I have all the time in the world now to coach and I don't know what to do. Has anyone had that experience where you're like, I have 10 hours right now to work on my business and I don't know what to do? And it's like a real thing. And when I was working in pockets of time, I was like way more productive. It was very bizarre, but so time can be the same thing. If I don't have enough time because I'm working full time and I don't have enough time to spend with my family and I don't have enough time to go on these trips, or I don't have enough time, so I can't do this business. That's one option of a perspective. I don't have enough time, so I can't work my business. My perspective of that was, I don't have enough time right now to live the quality of life I want with my family, so I have to make this business work now, because 2 years from now, I don't want to be in this situation. And that's what I chose in the beginning. And granted, like I didn't consciously know that that would know what I was doing. It just came natural for me. And it's possible for everybody. But unfortunately, you look in our company, we have 500,000 coaches almost. And such a small fraction. I can't remember the number we heard at Leadership, Dana, but such a small fraction of that actually helps one person a month. It was something crazy. It wasn't like 22,000 or something stupid. Like,
and the number that they said about coaches that get to Diamond and beyond was even smaller. Like, you can say 400,000, but there maybe is like a quarter of that actually working the business.
Right. It was crazy to me because, yeah. And so my point in that is, so many people don't, because of these I'm going to call them excuses. And again, I'm not meaning to be disrespectful, but it comes down to our perspective. It comes down to your clarity, and it comes down to your necessity of what kind of life you want to live. We all have different stuff. We all have different baggage. We all have different hardships. But I can guarantee you that there are top coaches in the top 10 who've been through way harder life stuff than probably all of us. And I went to, have you guys been to the High Performance Academy with Brendan Burchard? Anybody? So there was this one, I don't remember what day or what even he was talking about, but it always stuck with me, where he said, I hear all the time when people tell me, you just don't get it, Brendan. Like, you don't understand my situation, Brendan. Like, you've never been in my shoes. This is so hard, which we probably have all said before, myself included, right? Because life's hard. And he's like, I just look at them and I laugh, and I'm like, I can guarantee you, with the billions of people and throughout history, someone's been in your shoes, if not worse, and thrived. And that was so, like, that hit me, because it's true for all of us. You know, we all have computers, and we're on this call, which means we have internet and technology. Like, there's people who are naked in the dirt right now and don't know what they're going to feed their kids. But a lot of them, they still find a way to be happy, and they hike miles to a river to get water for their kids. And we're over here complaining because we have a small Instagram following and no one's liking my posts, and the algorithms are out to get me. And like, that's the conversation, the narrative that I hear so much in our community, which sucks, right? Or in our challenge groups of, it's just really hard, you know, because I'm traveling a lot because my kids have soccer. And so I just can't eat healthy, or I can't exercise. And like, that's not true. It's actually not true. You totally could if you wanted to, but you don't have a clarity of why you're doing it that's strong enough, and you don't have a necessity that's driving you. I could guarantee you, if all of us and our like challengers, if this is not me, this is not serious, this is a dramatic example, but if you're like, if you commit to this for a year and you do these things, like, you'll never get cancer. How many people do you think would do it every single day, no matter how crazy their schedule is? Because the necessity is high, because a lot of us never want that, right? Or your kids would never suffer from this if you can commit to these behaviors. All of us would do it because we love our kids. We do anything for them. Have you guys heard Darren Hardy? I think it's Darren Hardy's example of the 2 buildings with the plank in between them. So I'm gonna share the story just in case, for those of you who haven't, because I love this example. But okay, so there's 2 100-story buildings, right? And there's a 4x4 plank between the 2. You're way up, like in the clouds, and someone's like, "Hey, I'll give you $20 if you walk across this plank. You know, it's just 20 feet over to the other side with this tiny board. And you're like, screw you, buddy. Like, I would never do that. Okay, same situation, except the other building's on fire and your kid's on the top. Would you walk across that? Absolutely. I would risk my life to save my kid, and I'd probably make it and make it back. Why? What changed? The facts of the situation didn't really change. Like, our fear of that situation would be to walk across the plank, right? But the why, the necessity, and the clarity of why we were doing it, that's what changed. And I think so many times we stop ourselves from reaching our fullest potential and really making a big impact in this world with this business, and really like hitting all of our goals because of that unique thing, our perspective, our clarity, and our necessity. We're just not clear on it. I wasn't, to be honest, in the beginning. And that is what has driven me through the really, really hard days and weeks and months, and the haters on YouTube. Like, oh my gosh, you guys, I do a lot of videos on YouTube, and I actually get a lot of coaches from there, which is so random. Never thought that would happen, but I get so much shit talked about me on there too. Like, you don't know your own business. You're just putting money in Carl's pocket. Like, Carl's got you brainwashed. I'm like, who are you, Gwenda? Like, what are you talking about? You don't know me. Sorry, I got a little bit of ghetto in me, but anyways, that clarity and like necessity has continued to evolve for me as I've continued to take those steps and see what's possible. And for all of these things that you guys have listed with, you know, working full time and having your kids, if you can really connect with that, and especially if you're married, communicate with your spouse about this. Get on the same page. That's one thing I'm so thankful for. My husband's always been supportive. When I first started, and I told him I want to do this, he was like, okay, I have 2 rules for you. You have to go all in, because that's what we do, and you can't quit, because we're not quitters. And I was like, well, okay. Well, then it got hard, and he's like, you can't quit. Like, and you have to push through. You can do this, you know, which I'm so thankful for. But we made our 1 and 5 year goals together in the beginning. And not to say that it was always easy. He had to have some talks with me that's like, Jessica, you can't be on your phone at night, like in bed. That's not okay. You need to have boundaries. And that was something that I had to learn, that I think we all have to learn when you have a family and other things. But that clarity and the necessity for us was really high. And now I'm like, wow, we could live a totally different life than we ever imagined because of Beachbody. I'm going to go on a quick tangent because I want to make sure that everybody recognizes this. I told you, like, my passion is nutrition and holistic health and all that. And I know a lot about this area just because of my background. And we have something that does not exist in the world. Truly. The comprehensive approach that we have with our fitness programs that give people incredible results from home in 20 to 30 minutes a day, the nutrition programs that we give people that are science-based, that are from these registered dietitians and nutritionists that we get to offer people. And Shakeology. For those of you who've seen my Shakeology video, I actually had to take a couple of them down. I'm working with compliance right now to develop a compliance-approved Shakeology video. They're like, Jessica, we're not ready for you. That's literally what they told me. I got a call from Sandy, who does the National Wake Up Call, the other day, and she's like, so we love what you're doing. You're showing us, like, we really need to grow in this area, but we're not ready for you yet. Those are literally the words. So more to come from that, but I'm so passionate about Shakeology because it's so unique. And if we as coaches can better understand the ingredients and what's in it and help our customers, I have had a shift from my customers saying, wow, that's really expensive, to I can't believe how inexpensive this is for what's in it. And it all comes down to understanding the 5 formulas in Shakeology and research a couple of the ingredients that are in the adaptogen blend, for example. It's amazing. So amazing. So we've got exercise and nutrition and supplementation and mindset training, which we do in our challenge groups and in coaching, and the accountability. It is so cheap. I don't like that word, inexpensive, the holistic approach that we offer, people need every single component of that to live a vibrantly healthy lifestyle. So we should be freaking screaming it from the mountaintops. And when we do it with that kind of enthusiasm and confidence, people won't give us the money objection as much anymore, because they're seeing, I don't have to pay for a personal trainer. I don't have to pay for a nutritionist. You're giving me recipes and meal plans. I don't even have to leave my house. You're helping me figure out a shopping list, and I can message you like to get help. That's crazy. And I'm getting a product and I don't have to pay you for your time. That's insane. Like, why don't more people do this? If we can have that belief, I promise you that you're going to have such a easier time, and it's going to be so much more fun in your business. But the problem is we're not understanding that, and we're struggling, and we're thinking like we need to lower the price because people are giving me price objections, but really it's the understanding of the value that we have to offer. I'm sorry, that was like a total tangent, but I feel like more people need to know that, because it's so helpful when you can lead with that like fire. Oh my gosh. Okay. I'm going back to reading the comments. I would love to hear, like, do you guys have any specific questions for me, either about balancing like work life, how I did it when I was working full time, how I do it now with my kids, how we got to 5-star, anything
Jess,
else? Yeah, go ahead.
First, I'm like so jealous because Jess and I were at NLC together. I'm in the same damn boat I was at NLC, and Jess is like kicking ass. So you're rocking it, and I love watching you like totally soar. And I know this is, I guess, how the heck are you getting, like, what are you doing in regards to getting those active coaches that you found that crush diamond in 18 days? That can get you to 5 stars and get your husband to a star, to get to second business center? Like, how are you, is it everyone within your challenge groups? Is it people that you just find on Instagram that immediately or wherever want to work the business? Like, where are you finding those people?
Okay, I will give you a very specific and honest breakdown of who my diamonds are and where I found them, because it's not as crazy as you guys would think. Honestly, I've always been a heavy recruiter because of my excitement. Like, I've had people attracted to my enthusiasm and excitement at work. Like, I hated my job, and I recognized like I can't quit it. So I'm going to help as many people as I can. And I started recruiting officers and other nurses and other, like, I was drinking my shake. Everyone started knowing me as a Shakeology nurse, like at work. And that was so, and I say that because my 5-star is my husband, is obviously one of them, my second business center. And then I decided last year when I pushed for 5-star and we hit it for a week and then dropped, and then I went back to like a 1-star active, that I talked to my mom and I was like, hey, I think you could help a lot of women, because obviously like we can't legally build someone else's account, right? But I told her, what if we like tried to reach women 50 and older? They would trust you and relate to you more than they relate to me. I'll help you coach them. They can be in my challenge group, but let's work on this together. So she's actually one of my diamonds. And we did like family members, and stuff like that. And so that's 3 of my 5. And I have 2 other diamonds that are barely diamonds. One of them did hit diamond in 18 days. This is her 3rd time being a coach. She actually was on Lindsay Matway's team, and it was too big of an organization for her, and she really struggled, and she didn't get the support that she needed. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like, I was so intimidated by that, because Lindsay's a total badass and has like a bajillion diamonds. And she was like, yeah, it just didn't work. And then she quit, and I followed her on social media, this Brittany. And she reached out to me when she had a miscarriage, because she had saw my posts about my miscarriage that I went through. And that was all we started talking about. And then she's like, hey, I want to do this again. Like, I want to get my body back, on track. And so she had to wait, though, I think at that point, 4 more months before she could be a coach again. And so in that time, I was just like training her and talking belief into her. And the biggest thing that was a difference is I mapped out diamond. And I told her, diamond is 12 people. This is like my best advice for helping coaches hit diamond. Hit it sooner than later. Set the expectation that you hit it in a month. I set the expectation for her because we had worked so much on it that she was going to hit it in a week. She was going to hit emerald in an hour. And that's how she got it in 18 days. And she had been posting her journey before she was a coach. And so people were already following her. And the same thing is true for her. If you follow her, so on Instagram, she's Fit Brit. I think that it's underscore Fit Brit underscore. And she's friggin' hilarious. And so she's got like a very similar personality to me, where she's just very vivacious and excited about what she's doing. And she was like, it's only 12 people? I can do that. And that was her perspective. And she was like, I don't know why with Lindsay's team, it was so complicated. I thought only the top of the top of the top were able to hit diamond, and that it was so difficult and it should take you a year. And that's why she didn't. And I think a lot of coaches think that. And so for her, that was how she hit it in 18 days. It was like, you could totally do it. And I spoke that belief in her, set that expectation early. And I did tell her, like, as a team, we're pushing for this 5-star goal. You are a 5th diamond. And she loved that. And so that was her. My other diamond is, she hit diamond last year in 30 days. She's a personal trainer. And same personality, very excited. Didn't ask a lot of questions, just told people, like, support me, do this, you'll love it. And she hit diamond in 30 days because I set that expectation. It's only 12 people. Printed out the diamond tracker and I tracked it with her. And then it dropped. And then I was like, hey, we're doing this again. You can do this. Like, you're good enough. And then she did it again. And we all held for 6 weeks. So those are my 5. Under my husband's account, I obviously didn't think this person would ever want to coach. And she's probably one of my most active coaches now. She's almost to a 1-star, but she took a long time and in her own pace, and she just did it naturally. And then in my second business center, again, someone who I never thought ever would coach. This is someone who truly could not afford Shakeology. She truly couldn't. She has 5 kids, only half of her husband's very low income. But she was desperate to the point of, she was like, I don't want to be here anymore because, like, I don't feel worth anything. And she did a 3-day refresh in Shakeology. She lost 50 pounds in 3 months and was like, I can only afford to do this if I'm a coach. I'm like, okay, let's do it. And so it was like those things that I think the simplicity and the energy are probably the 2 of the most important things. I've found more people, cold leads, who want to actually coach from YouTube than from anywhere. Instagram's not, honestly, I don't find a ton of people on Instagram personally. But I found a lot on YouTube because I make videos of how to hit emeralds in 24 hours, how to hit diamond in a month, how to make your first $1,000 as a Beachbody coach, why I chose Beachbody versus everything else out there. Like, the objections you get, start making videos about them. That's like one of the best pieces of advice that I have for any coach is every area that you're afraid of. So I was afraid of teaching people how to coach in the business side because I've never been a business person. Like, my weakest point as a nurse has always been math. Like, I'm not good at it. I don't enjoy it. And I didn't understand how to help a coach earn $500. And so I taught myself, and then I taught about it. And it's one of my most watched videos on YouTube now. So that was a very long answer, but I hope it's helpful. Any other questions at all? Let me go. Sorry.
You have a few in the comments that want to know how you balance everything with coaching when you worked full time and being a stay-at-home mom.
Okay. So in the beginning, I'm not going to lie to you guys. I woke up at 4 and I do a lot of days. I don't every day. It depends on the chapter. In this business, you go through phases. Like, the first half of this year was so intense for me. I didn't have good balance. Like, I didn't take many days off completely. But in the beginning, I would wake up at 4, do my 22-minute hardcore, nurse my kid, do a post, shower, go to work. I would take a break at lunch and go out to my truck and answer messages, try to do another post or whatever I needed to do, go back into work. And then I had access to Gmail, so like I totally could have gotten in trouble, but I would write a couple emails back like here and there. And then after work, I would, in the parking lot before I go home, I would either answer messages or do whatever I had to do. And then I'd go home, talk to my husband and say, hey, I need some time to watch this training video, or I need some time for X, Y, and Z. And that's kind of what my life looked like. And then on the weekends, depending on his schedule, like if I had help with him from him, then I would tell him, like, I need you to watch the baby. Or a lot of times, like, my son was so young at that time that I put him in the bouncer, or, you know, I'd put toys in front of him and I would do work. And that's been, I will not lie to you, like, there's many times where my boys are playing with each other. Thankfully, it's nice outside, so they'll be playing outside. But there's been many times where I'm like, you need to watch a movie. And they love it, but you need to watch a movie because I need to get this X, Y, and Z done. And if you guys have seen my YouTube channel at all, 95% of them are with my kids in them, like yelling at me or calling on me, or I'm like my boobs out and I'm nursing them. It's covered, but like that's just. And I used to feel like this is so unprofessional, but then I was like, you know what? No, this is real life. And I want other moms to know that they can do this too. And I would tell people, you know, I didn't shower today, but I had to tell you this, whatever it was. So this is why I say I'm not the most organized and I'm not the best at this, but that necessity has been so high for me to get out of prison. Literally, I have to get out of prison. I have to make $4,000 in order to do that a month. So I just have to keep going. And that was kind of my mindset in it. And I just made sure that I was doing the things that were going to move my business forward. And that's recruiting new customers and coaches, helping your coaches be successful, having something to invite to all the time. And I've not rocked it all, but those were my focus points. I wasn't always focused on creating new content or pretty graphics, or because that's not going to move your business forward. That's great, but it's not going to move your business forward. So I would really strive on, you know, the vital behaviors, committing to your journey, sharing your journey, and enjoying what you're doing. Because if you're not enjoying it, that energy is also going to be noticeable to people. Oh, and then now, since life's so different now, I have a house cleaner. I have my boys go to daycare the whole day for 2 days a week, and I'm totally okay with that. And I know that there's some moms who aren't, but I am a much better version of myself for them, with them being at daycare. And it's my ex-sister-in-law, so like she's awesome, and she's like, we made roasted broccoli today and Liam was pulling at his ears, so I put garlic oil in them, and I'm like, you're the best. Like, she's a better mom than I am. So you know, that's obviously important that you have a place for your kids that you trust, and I'm very blessed that I have that. So they go twice a week, and I get help around the house, and it's the only way that I can like enjoy what I'm doing still, and enjoy being a mom, and also change the world. And I love that Rachel Hollis speaks this so great too, which we all get to hear from her at Summit. But like, you don't have to apologize for needing help in life. And I think that that's something that in this circle we're really bad at, is thinking like I can do it all, and I don't need to ask for help, and I'm never going to crash, and I'm always going to fit in my skinny jeans, and I'm always going to be happy, and I'm just going to sleep 2 hours, and it's going to be great, and look at my flex and the Instagram, and it's, you know, but like, people don't relate to that. And that's part of like your adversities. Share those, like share your struggles, whatever you're going through, because people need to hear that you're normal. And I get way more traction on my, like, I just had diarrhea like go all over me, and then my 3-year-old saw it and threw up on me, and then the other one threw up, and then I just started laughing sitting down in the bathroom floor, because what else was I gonna do? Cry? And I maybe have done both of them, but like, people love that stuff, you know, because it's real life when you have a kid. But I'm like totally against the, like, we shouldn't be cookie cutter, you know. People relate to our realness. So, okay, sorry, let me go back. I hope that, I don't know if that was helpful, but. You share that you have a cleaning lady. Oh, gotcha. Puts it. Not it. I don't think it will not make you look relatable. Are you kidding? So here's where how I would share that about, like, I have someone who helps me with my house, is I don't think we're supposed to enjoy house cleaning like some people do. Like my husband does. He's a weirdo, but I think it's totally okay to say, I love what I do. I love spending time with my kids. And in order to facilitate that, I get to support someone else's business, support someone else by helping me clean my house, because I can't do it all. I don't think that makes you look pretentious. I think that makes you look way more relatable. And then you say, I couldn't afford, if this is true for you, I couldn't afford to do this, you know, back in the day or last year, but now I can, and I am so thankful. To me, it's a smart investment. You get way smart. I wish I could have one every single day to do all my laundry and put it all away, because that is my nemesis. Okay, anything else, you guys? Any other, like, questions? Dana, was there anything else that you asked me to share that I totally didn't? You had talked to me about, like, being intentional.
Yeah, I would love to know, like, as a newer coach, like, what did you do in your, aside from inviting, in your pockets of time, like, what was your main priority focus, I guess, like, that got you to where you could retire a year in? And then, like, what does that differ from now?
So in the beginning, I think the blessing was I didn't know anything. Like, I did not know what Emerald was, or Success Club, or how a challenge group was supposed to be run. I didn't know for my first 8 months of coaching that there were challenge group guides. I didn't know any of that. And I had signed up my first 4 discount coaches within my first 4 days before I got a challenge pack, because I was excited. And I remember Liz reached out to me, was like, who in the heck are you? Because for those of you who don't know, like, Liz was a total stranger to me. I'm in California and she was in Boston, and I just saw her before and after picture. And I was like, I want to do this. Sign me up with your program. I want to be a discount coach. I know how this works. What do you need? It's like our dream, right? And now I'm a 5-star. So it's like, you never know. But when she told me this is how you sign someone up, if anyone wants to do it with you, that's literally what I just sent them her before and after picture. And I was like, I'm going to do this to get in to lose baby weight. You should do this with me. And I thought to myself, Liz has a challenge group and a Facebook group, so that's what I should do. She didn't tell me to do that, but I saw what she did, and I was like, okay, that's what I should do. I should invite more people. And so I created a Facebook group, and I put my mom and my mother-in-law and my sister-in-law and my best friend in there who bought a challenge group. I literally, because this is how we did it back in the day, I was like, okay, give me your credit card, your social security number, and what flavor of Shakeology do you want? I'm signing you up. And that's what I stayed true to. Was I acted like social media was like my virtual journal, in a sense, of this is me working out, this is me drinking my shake, and this is why I love it, and this is me with my kid, and this is a challenge group. I'm learning this. You should learn it with me. And I just had that approach for so long. And then I learned a little bit of strategy, like, oh, this is diamond. Okay. So I just need, 8 people. I'm going to make my husband Emerald. And then I don't remember, my other Emerald like naturally happened because I told her, hey, you could get your Shakeology paid for. And I think it was a diamond in 2 months or something. And that was honestly, like, still throughout my first 2 years, I stayed true to that excitement and trying to keep things simple. I overcomplicated it sometimes, but and then now I do a lot more mentoring. I do one-on-one calls every Tuesday with my coaches who are pushing for diamond and beyond, and that's been really great. They're 30 minutes, and I tell them I love you, but this is not a friendship call. This is a business call. And we go over what's working, what's not working, what are you struggling with, what are your objections, do we need to go over conversations, and what's your goal this week, so that they have an actionable item to do. That's been the biggest. Chickens, get away from me, Barbara. That's been the biggest change. I'm sorry, my chickens are named like Barbara and kombucha is from my son. That's the biggest shift. And I'll be honest with you, it's also been not a trap, but it's easy to get stuck there and forget that you always have to stay in phase one of bringing new people in every single month to continue to grow. So like, it's been a very long time since I'm at the 19th of the month, and I'm only at SC2 right now. And like, usually I'm in the 20s or 30s, and it's 100% my fault. Like, I'm not freaking out because I know it's my fault. I've like taken the month off, and I don't know what is going on with me. It's been a huge push to 5-star, to be honest. And sometimes I feel like we go through these phases in our business where you're pushing really, really hard. And then you also have to have grace for yourself of like balance, like, you know what I mean? Like, breathe and enjoy life. And that's kind of been where I'm at. So now I got to kick some ass, and I have no doubt that I'll still hit SC10 by the end of the month because of the enthusiasm and excitement that's there. Okay, when I retired, did you ever worry about income going backwards? It's hard to trust to be reliable. I didn't. I mean, I did a little bit, but worry about my income going backwards. But I didn't at the same time, because I knew myself, and I knew I would never quit, and I knew that I would go all in. And that's just something I know about myself, and that I can control, and you can control. Everybody can control that. And so I think it's also important to recognize in this business that it's a business of adjustment. When something's not working, you do something different, and you ask your coach, like, this isn't working. What do I need to shift? Because it's always changing. And I'm sure, like, especially like Dana and Annalisa could say that. I don't know how long everybody else has been a coach, but it's shifted over the years. Before I was a coach, I've heard, and it's just what we do. And now, since I had that perspective, so I was making $4,000 a year ago in June when I was at my 2 year basically of coaching, and now we're like between $600 and $6,500 a month. And I only say that just to share like transparency of where we're at. And it's just, I don't know, our retention is a little bit higher, I think, because of my enthusiasm with Shakeology and Energize. Like, I am a huge advocate for education. Most people don't ever want to try Beachbody because they think that it's something that it's not. That's why I didn't do it for a long time. So maybe ask yourselves, like, why are people not wanting to try Energize? Why are people not wanting to try Shakeology? And then put it out there, like, the truth. I did a scandalous video on YouTube with that girl who did, there's a couple, but like, she did a video of why I quit Beachbody. So I watched it and I took notes, and I was so annoyed. Like, everyone's telling me, don't put your videos on YouTube because there's so many videos out there of like, they might see why they quit Beachbody, why this person quit Beachbody. I'm like, that's dumb. That means they win. I'm going to make a rebuttal. And so I did why she quit Beachbody, and because so much was inaccurate in her video. Well, the girl saw my video and commented on it, and I felt like a jerk for a second because, like, I don't want to be that person, but she had nothing to say, really, because she kind of shot herself in the foot. But anyways, that's been my perspective on everything. Is I want to put the truth out there, because I truly, from the deepest part of my heart, believe that we have like the best health and fitness company in the world. And that's, I think, why it's been easier for me to be successful in this. Okay, anything else, guys? Thanks so much. I hope this was like helpful a little bit. I feel like I was all over the place.
I think it's awesome. And I think too, like, everything you say goes back to, you just have so much belief and so much energy and so much passion. And it's like intoxicating, or how could someone see you and not want to join that? And that's such a good reminder.
Thank you.
Does anybody else have questions?
I have one quick one. Hopefully this is quick. So I feel like in some of it is just like my own, and I'm sure everyone else feels the same way if you have like any coaches, working coaches under you, is I fall in that line of sometimes I never wanted to be pushed really hard initially when it came to coaching. And I was definitely that person that if you pushed me, I would like be like, Heisman, I'm out, because I don't do well with that. But so I take that philosophy, but I sometimes really feel as though because I do that, I don't push people and my coaches to where I know they are capable of going. And therefore I feel like I just sit in status quo. Like I just sit there and it's not moving. And I wonder like if I'm doing something wrong, and I'm curious of what other people always do to get people that make big moves really fast, and like why they got their coaches to do that. And I'm just curious for other perspectives. Like if you have someone that says, I want to actively coach, do you hold them to some accountability to be like, this is what you need to do. Like, this is what I expect from you. Like, do you kind of push them or give them things that they need to be doing so that you do give them your time? Because there's this fine line of, I don't want to give so much of myself if it's not really getting anywhere, because I need to move forward and kind of save that energy for people that are actively wanting to do it. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it totally does. So I think I'm curious as to what pushing someone means to you, because I think that's different for everybody too.
Yeah, like simple things, getting on a team call, hitting Success Club, like what do I need to do to get them to be able to understand that business isn't going to move anywhere if you're not doing X, Y, and Z to get to that point. Showing up on social media, like you can't show up twice a month and expect your business to grow. Like, and I feel like I sometimes say these types of things, and a lot of it comes down to the vital behaviors. And I say it, but then simple thing, like share about the video, the call tonight and my team. Like I shared early this morning, shared later, still not there. Like at what point do you just say like, okay, like they're clearly not like wanting this right now. Like I can't push them if they don't want it, but also like, you've said you wanted to do this. So what is making you not do it? Like, why aren't you showing up and doing these basic things that we've talked about for the past 3 years,
So I have, I think there's different ways to motivate someone, and everyone's going to be different. So I know that I shut down if Liz was to call me and say that you're not doing enough or you're not doing this right. And this is unique to me because I know I'm a hard worker, right? But if I was busy and I wasn't hitting, this is hard as an example because I have hit Success Club, but say I wasn't or whatever, and she was like, you're not doing enough, I would shut down. I wouldn't do well with that. But if she were to call me, and this is what I try to do, I reconnect people with why they're doing it. And I ask them in a different way of, why are you doing this? And what do you want from it? Because if you can reconnect people with, what are your financial goals this month? I would really like to make $500. Okay, why? Well, I lost my child support and that's what I had. And so it really helped me put food on the table. Okay, so this is something that means a lot to you. Awesome. Here's how you do it. You need this many people. And then in that approach, you're inspiring them and then you're telling them, I know that you can do this. I truly believe in you. I know that you're busy, but here, make sure you're doing 7 to 10 Instagram stories a day. Make sure that you're on social media. And I know that that's hard for you sometimes because you haven't really been on there, but just take a picture. Like I've pulled from Pinterest, here's a themed week-long calendar of on Mondays, it's motivation, Tuesdays, it's recipes, Wednesday, it's fitness, whatever. Here's a guide of what you can post every day. So you don't have to think about it because so many people get in their head about that. Or every day I want you to take a picture of your breakfast, your workout, your shake, 3 posts a day. Scandalous. You don't have to write a lot, but this is your journal, and it takes you 2 seconds if you're making it easy. And then you're just breathing belief in them and you're helping reconnect them to why they're doing it rather than the approach of you're not doing enough. Cause I get what you're saying. that's really hard. I think a lot of us would shut down. Some people want that. Some people need a kick in the ass. And I think that's where we have to kind of gauge who people are. And if they're really complaining, like, my business isn't growing, I'm so frustrated, I don't know if this is cut out for me, then I might have more of a true, honest approach of, okay, I get what you're saying and you're frustrated. Let me provide some clarity. So I looked at your Instagram and I noticed that you're on there maybe once a week. I asked you for the invites that you've sent and you never sent them to me. So I don't know how many people that you're talking to. Or your follow-ups that you sent me, I saw that you're not relating to the person at all. You're just sending them a link and saying, buy this from me. So obviously it's not going to work, like helping them then have that honest, well, you're beating yourself up in the mirror and I see you're partying a lot and you're not even doing this. So why would people want to do it with you? Obviously every situation is different, but was that helpful at all?
Yeah, I know it is. It's just nice to hear other perspectives because, everyone is just so different. And
Everyone's different.
so much of this is like you're a psychologist, like in the thing of just dealing with all different ways that people want to be trained. And it's or guided. And it's just definitely, it's a full.
I would say too, like, I know a lot of people make it a requirement to have a call, like hit Success Club, or you have to be an Emerald, or you have to be whatever. I've never had that. And it's for some of the coaches that I mentor, like even one of my Diamond coaches, she's like, yeah, I see this coach requires like Success Club and Diamond in order to get a call with them. She's like, I wouldn't have done well with that. And she's one of my Diamond coaches. And you have to have that balance of like your time. Maybe some of you have 20 really active working coaches, but I doubt it. And so for me, like Tuesdays are my days with them. And I have 6 girls that have reached out to me. I opened up Tuesdays. If you want to have a weekly Tuesday call with me, then tell me and we'll have a time slot. And only like 5, 6 of them did. And I love our calls, and only 2, 3 of them are Diamond and one of them is not, but she's grown so much, and she hasn't hit Success Club every month, but she's grown so much, and now she's almost Diamond because of that time and that connection. So that's just worked for me, and I found that time has created action in them instead of requiring action in order to have time. But again, everybody's different.
Thank you.
I've never read The 4 Tendencies. Interesting. Yeah, people are difficult.
Jess, I would love to know do you have getting started right calls with new coaches?
Okay, so this has always been a weakness of mine. Always. Sorry, it was Barbara. She was just flying around in the wheelbarrow. I do now, and I try to do them sooner than later because I notice a huge shift. And I ask them, why did you decide to coach? Because I want to understand where they're at. And then I ask them, where do you want to be 1 year from now? Where do you want to be 5 years from now? And I let that dictate our conversation. And it's worked out really well. And all of this coaching, why people stick around and why they quit, is all centered around what they want with their life and why they're doing it. And if we can't connect them to that, I think they'll all quit, because it gets hard, because people are going to tell them no. People are going to tell them it's a scam. People are going to tell them, I can't believe you joined Beachbody. But if you are like, this could change your life and pay off your $70,000 of student loans. Oh, so yeah, I need to improve it, but that's been working for me right now.
Awesome. Does anybody else have questions while we've got her? No?
Thanks for having me on, guys.
Jess, you are amazing.
So are you.
We're going to do a boomerang. We always do a team boomerang. Anybody that does not have their video on, do you want to put your video on?
Put your video on.
Turn it on.
Put it on. You guys could have been looking at us the whole time.
Where were you?
Right?
Come on, Jen, Ashley, Danielle, everyone.
I should grab a chicken.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Much
Everybody's
better.
recording now.
Oh, there you guys are.
Should have done that at the beginning of the call.
I know. It makes a difference.
All right, ready? Boomerang. Jess, are you doing one? Oh, okay.
I was going to.
1, 2, 3.
Tag me in that one.
Taken. All right.
That would have been so cool seeing you run in motion.
Thanks everybody for hopping on tonight. I hope you had some helpful takeaways. I'm gonna make a post in the team page about it. And Jess, thank you so much for your time and your wisdom and your energy and your passion and just everything you share is incredible. So thank you so much. I hope you have an awesome rest of your night. Bye everybody.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thanks.